Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NAU Sports Show. My name is Casey, and whether you're watching live or on replay, I thank you. It means a lot. Welcome to week 3. Now, before we talk about that, before we go into that, I think it's time to do a little recap of week 2. Northern Arizona went to Sam Houston and defeated them 10-3. It was definitely a defensive game, but NAU's D-line looks solid, amazing. And I will say, the offensive line looks a lot better than week 1. But overall, it was a lot better game in my mind. And I'm just happy that they were able to go on the road and defeated Sam Houston, which, by the way, I will say again, they're going to FBS next season. So they already have more scholarship players on the team. I think it was like 70 or something, 68, 70, 75. I don't know, something like that. So they're technically a semi-FBS team anyway. So I guess that's fear of the FCS, right? Hey, all right, we're going to go to week 3. In order to help me out to preview week 3, I have the sports editor for the Arizona Daily Sun, Eric Newman. Eric, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It definitely has. How's everything been?
Good. I was able to, the stream took a little bit to get working, but I was able to get on to the ESPN broadcast of the game on Saturday. Seen some good stuff from the team over the last few weeks, and excited that the home opener is coming up this Saturday.
Well, did you learn a lot about what they had to say?
So today was the press conference over Zoom with Chris Ball. And kind of the thing he was saying was, obviously giving up only 3 points. He pointed a lot to the defense and the skill of the guys. There's a lot of experience on the front line. The front, there's probably 4, 5, 6 guys really all who can make plays in that rotation. Something he talked about in the preseason, but it kind of solidified and confirmed what he thought the team was going to be defensively. And they played really well. And now it's time to, he said, not have a letdown like they did. He mentioned the score 17-10, which was the score of the Northern Colorado game a week after playing Arizona last year. And, they beat Arizona 21-19, and it was, this huge deal.
Right.
Ended up coming out and kind of not doing as well as they would have liked, not playing as well as they would have liked to against Northern Colorado the week after. Ended up being 17-10, and they don't want to have a repeat of that. Kind of the, a really, really high moment followed by something really low. They want to play consistently.
True. Yeah, that I do remember that. That was actually the day of my wedding. But I remember them going to Greeley, and for whatever reason, and we go there again this year, but for whatever reason, we have not been able to win there for probably like the past 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it's a tough place to play in general.
It really is. It really is. But that's in the future. Let's talk about this coming Saturday. North Dakota, who is newly ranked as number 22, is coming in to Flagstaff to play with the dome opener for NAU. Does that, I don't know, put NAU on alert? Because now they have an opportunity early in the season to defeat their first ranked team.
Yeah, it absolutely is a big game. And I think that if Sam Houston were, still in the regular schedule of stuff, they would probably have been a ranked team as well. So technically they haven't beaten a ranked team yet, but North Dakota's good. they've got really good offensive players. They beat a good Northern Iowa team. And they're, it's not a slouch coming in by any stretch of the imagination. Tommy Schuster, the North Dakota quarterback, threw only 3 incomplete passes against a pretty solid Northern Iowa defense. He went for 297 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And they can play. That team is not a walkover by any stretch of the imagination.
Did they play at Northern Iowa?
They played. It looks as if I'm looking at the schedule. They played in Grand Forks, so they played at home.
At home, okay. So this is on the road, and it's the running of the freshman game, so that means it's going to be a packed dome.
Yeah.
So they have that to look forward to. I know when a couple years ago, when Eastern Washington came to play, was that non-conference conference game, and they played for the first home opener. They had some troubles. They definitely, even though they won, they did not score as much as they wanted to. I think it was a 4 or 5 point game. But NAU and North Dakota has faced each other 5 different times over the past, I think, from 2012. And NAU has a 3-2 winning record, knock on wood, that continues for NAU's favor. What do you think NAU has to do in order to win this game?
They've got to establish the run. Something Coach Ball was proud of was that they were able to, in that last 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game against Sam Houston, were able to run the ball and were able to move the chains a few times, enough to be able to kneel out the clock at the end. But I think that they need to be balanced offensively. They've got great running backs. Kevin Daniels, George Robinson, Drayson Hall, all can make a different contribution. Their offensive line got a little bit better just with another game under their belts. But I think that is going to be something that they need to be able to do it early and not just have to rely on RJ Martinez in the passing offense. And, that side of the ball was great, and it has been in the past, but I think it needs to be just a little bit more even.
Right. I will say, compared to week 1 and week 2, we definitely saw the offensive line, and especially RJ Martinez, do better.
Absolutely. Better. And they left a few points on the table too. They had early in the game, they had, 4th and 1, 4th and 2 at the goal line. They missed a mid-length field goal. So that's, potentially 10-6 points that they left on the board.
Right.
They were moving the ball better than 10 points might suggest.
Did Chris Ball say anything about that?
Yeah, I actually called him after the Sam Houston game, and he was saying that that's kind of the plays that they need to make up. When you get into the red zone, get into scoring position, you have to capitalize in some way. And analytically, you go for it. He said on those 4th and 1s, especially in the other team's end, but you got to be able to punch it through. And you saw later in the game that on a 4th and 1, on a 4th and 2, RJ Martinez was able to get behind the guys and just kind of push forward a few yards. And if they're able to do that kind of thing, if they get in that situation, I think they're in good shape.
Okay. All right. And I don't believe there was really any injuries.
No, none that stood out.
Yeah, which is good, which is very good. That means NAU has a healthy team going into the home opener. Right. I definitely wish them luck. I would love to see NAU go 2-1. There was a lot of Big Sky Twitter fans of other teams, especially the ones that vote, that were saying NAU had no chance of going 2-1, or it was most likely going to be maybe a 1 win or 0 wins for the first 3 games. And I didn't see that. I knew NAU had a crazy defensive line coming in. And even with the offensive line, everything has gotten better. Everything has more age in it, right? So
Absolutely.
I definitely saw NAU going, hopefully 2-1, which is what I said would happen.
Yeah, they really have talent there. It's a question of being able to put it all together now.
Right. Exactly. Anything else that Coach Ball, said in the interview or the meeting?
The biggest things were, putting the points on the board and being able to capitalize on those chances. He's also, they've been very fond of the new athletic training staff and the student athlete high performance center that just got opened within the last year. And I think that he didn't say it specifically, but having that, being able to do well against those uh, tough conditions in Huntsville, Texas, because September in Houston area is tough. I mean, you're a Southern guy, the humidity and everything
I
like that.
do.
That's really not easy to deal with, and so he was really happy with the way that a lot of the athletes were able to, be recovered, be ready for that. And so I think having the optimal conditions of being able to play in a dome again is a big deal as well.
Definitely. But yes, what they said is part of the rooms, or one of the rooms in the athletic facility, is they can change the temperature, they can change the humidity level, they can change,
Absolutely.
atmospheric pressure or whatever they want to call it in that room, so they can make it feel like how it's going to be on game day,
Yeah.
which really helps.
Yeah, I think the cross country team uses it a lot too. They have so many different environments that they run in. Obviously, here at elevation and everything, and it's something like that. Obviously, has its benefits.
Definitely. Eric, as always, I want to thank you. I know you and I talk every now and then, just to chit chat. But anything else you would like to say?
Thanks for having me on. Everyone, keep listening to KC's show, watching it on Twitter. I enjoy what I see.
Thank you very much, and I enjoy all of your information that you always send out on the Twitter world. Listen, if anyone wants to try to get in contact you, ask you questions, how do they find you?
They've got my Twitter at enewmanwrites. They can email me. I'm always on my phone looking at stuff for, if it's not NAU, it's the Flagstaff area high school sports, everything else on there. eric.newman@lee.net. That's my email address. I would give my phone number out, but I don't want a bunch of trolls starting to message me weird stuff. So I'll leave it at those two.
Let's not do that. Do that. Hey, the other thing, I know that you also do a lot of high school sports, high school football. Are you seeing any Flagstaff prospects that would be really good at NAU?
So there is the biggest recruit in the senior class right now is Pearson Watson at Coconino High School. And he was being recruited at NAU, but ended up committing a couple months ago to BYU. So he's going to be playing linebacker there. I assume the family, I think, wants their kids. He has a younger brother who's a junior that's a quarterback at Coconino. I think they're both probably going to serve a mission for a year or two after high school, but then eventually be out there. So there aren't any kids right now being recruited in that way. But I wouldn't be surprised if one or two, started getting looks and everything when the season comes underway a little bit more.
Got it.
There is they did just recruit. He went on as a walk-on this year, preferred walk-on. Andy Ruiz was a senior defensive back last year for Coconino, and now he's on the team. I don't know how the walk-on process works and everything, but I've seen him at practice a few times. So hopefully he keeps making the jump up and eventually gets on the roster.
Got it. Do you have a favorite play of last week's game?
From NAU?
Uh-huh.
I think it has to be the interception off of the ref, right? Like,
yep.
I've watched a lot of football for work, and I've been a football fan since I was a kid. Never seen that. One of my buddies, Zach Elvira, who I've done many shows with and everything, sent me. They did it in The Longest Yard, the movie with Adam Sandler, where he threw it at the ref on purpose, but nothing in real life.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. It hit off. What was it, like his pec or his shoulder
shoulder,
or something like that? Yeah, and bounced
yeah.
right in the air to Costas Quete. You don't see many defensive linemen, especially interior defensive linemen, making interceptions like that very often.
Right. I think he was like one of those duck, but it just hit off, and
Yep,
it was perfect. That really changed the remainder of the game, I think.
absolutely.
So, hey guys, like always, if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at NAU Podcast, Facebook at NAU Podcast, or you can email me naupodcast@gmail.com. Eric, like always, thank you so much, sir, for coming on.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you soon, okay? All right. Hey, there's no tickets given out for the upcoming game at Idaho or versus Idaho because I'll be there. I will be in Flagstaff for the September 24th game. So please come see me. Find me. I love to see you. Now, as always remember, never forget, root NAU. Until next time, which is next Monday, hope you have a good week, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.